Next question is from Joe Mayer from Alexandria, Virginia. Congressman, every combat brigade in the Army and Marine Corps is committed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Where will units come from if we are attacked again or suffer another catastrophe on American soil?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think half of the troops over there now are Guard, Reserve, and the National Guard tends to get lesser equipment. They are not at the table when those decisions are made. Just so you know, Saturday, I'm not going to go, but Gene Taylor from Mississippi, a Democrat, and myself are getting the Harry Truman Award from the National Guard Association for the work we have done for the Guard, trying to elevate them and making them part of this equation. The reality is there aren't enough people to do these kind of things. And as we move forward with this debate on Iraq, members in the administration have to be conscious of what flexibilities we have in other hot spots in the globe, whether it's North Korea, whether it's Darfur, whether it's on our own borders, in terms of what we do with the allocation of troops. And the reserves and the Guard are playing a larger and larger role. And these are part-time citizen soldiers. I spent 8 years in the National Guard. And they have other jobs that they have given up and now put on hold and left their families. They didn't sign up for this. They knew it could happen. And that is a huge concern to all of us as we look forward to this. And so it's a legitimate question to ask. I wish I could sit here and tell you we're going to do A, B, and C. We don't know at this point what flexibilities we'll have. One of my great frustrations has been, as the debates come forward in the House, I never get to vote on anything that represents my views. My side puts up something, the other side puts up something, and I'm somewhere, I'm a little more nuanced than that. For example, the Iraqi Study Group recommendations, 3 times. I've been before the Rules Committee asking that we consider that as an alternative and put it up for a vote on the floor. It would draw strong bipartisan support, which is the reason the leadership in both parties don't want it to come up, because they like a polarized situation, in my opinion. It politicizes it in unnecessary ways. What I most applaud your group for doing is trying to bring people together on this, focus on the issues, recognize how do we appropriately deploy, safeguard the troops at the same time. And we need to have more dialogues like this around the country that are civil. They can be intense. There are hard feelings on this. We're not seeing it in Congress. We're not seeing it in the House. We're not seeing it in the Senate. Hopefully when we come back in September, we can come back, there will be additional leverage, obviously, because the appropriations is a bill that has to move forward. It's not something that's subject to a veto, but then you don't get the money. Hopefully the dialogue will change, and we'll come down, and members from both parties will sit down and figure what we can do. I want to be a part of that, so thank you.
Two quick additional comments here. First, on the troops. If there is not a redeployment by March, we will face an 18-month tour of duty in Iraq for the Army if we don't withdraw by March. So in addition to the problems that the Congressman just indicated, that's a further exacerbation of that problem. And the second point is, it's not just our military, it's the focus of the entire executive leadership that's so focused on Iraq that we don't pay attention to proliferation, that we don't pay attention to terrorism, that we don't pay attention to places like North Korea or Iran, other than rhetorically. We don't deal with the Middle East peace process in the way that we need to be dealing with it. All of these agenda items that are significant are also not being tended to because the leadership is spending so much time focusing on Iraq.